Is everyone gone? Connie wanted to know. She called in the early afternoon. The ringing phone could barely be heard inside the house with the confusion continuing outside. Almost, McKinley mumbled. Listen to me, Brian, Connie barked in her typical commanding tone. McKinley was pleased that his wife had obviously recovered from her illness. You get everyone out of there or I'm not coming back. I'll try, he said. Try, what's the matter with you? This is our house. You'll do a lot better than try. Send the green man home and everything will be all right, Connie insisted. McKinley sighed and hung up the phone. Just send Mr. Scratch home. How? Put a stamp on him. Dig a hole. He wandered to the back window and looked outside. Rev Gorin had started a mass cleansing ritual, sort of a communal hand-waving, gospel-singing and prayer-chanting service that was adding to the hysteria. The garden in front of the house was a memory. The entangled yellow beach daisies had been plucked and strewn about in supplication for divine action. The butterfly garden in back had been trampled too. The bushes that ran along the backyard had been picked apart as people passed through them without any religious qualms. The palm trees along the north side of the driveway had been denuded by eager youngsters, who clambered up them and removed branches for a better view of the house. The front lawn, which had been so lovingly cared for, now resembled a golf course sand trap. Every blade had been stomped on by hundreds of shoes. The reporters, at least, had left. Wimple departed when her noon deadline for Monday morning's paper approached. Television linger another hour because the reporter got lost on the way back to his truck. He had received an emergency call about a possible celebrity sighting and had to leave. The marching students had disbanded, although some of the youngsters had hung around and incongruously carried their instruments amid the crowd. McKinley could see the strained expressions on the hundreds of people still filling the street. The afternoon had turned out to be very hot. Many of the neighbors had retreated to their own homes, while more distant visitors seemed ready to pass out. The lemonade and soft drink sales were booming. Mrs. Cosgrove, indefatigable as ever, continued to blast her unrelenting and off-tune pastorals as though time and weather had no meaning. McKinley spent a moment trying to determine who was in the throng. He went from face to face. Most were unfamiliar. Then he froze. That face was too familiar. Mr. Jenkins had joined the group. McKinley could see his best client standing to one side, tall, bald, and clearly unhappy. The Wilpongs were there too. McKinley felt faint. His whole business was going to be destroyed, right along with everything else. He had to act, but felt completely isolated. The boys were preoccupied with Mr. Scratch, who had cleaned up the kitchen, expertly handled a few necessary home repairs that had long awaited attention, and assisted both sons with pressing school assignments. He's the greatest. Gerald had informed his father during one interlude. He said he'll stay as long as we want him to, Bradley had announced with a grin. He's really cool. I think I'll paint myself green. What do you think Jennifer would say? He went off without waiting for an answer. McKinley sat down on the couch and tried to think. What was he going to do? Shoot the devil? He doubted that would work even if he owned a gun. Prayers were clearly ineffective. The baseball bat was a possibility, but McKinley knew fully well he lacked both the strength and determination to batter anything into submission. He had rarely hit a baseball as a kid, preferring the classroom to the athletic field. Even now, hefting the bat last night seemed to have strained his right bicep. Unless Mr. Scratch could be overwhelmed with numbers, violence was out of the question. But something had to be done. McKinley wanted his life back to normal. The boys bickering, his wife complaining and firing orders, and the gardens restored. He wanted to slip into his office and work in mindless silence, uninterrupted by the intonations of hundreds of church-going fanatics, and without fear that his clients would end their relationships with him. He wanted the devil worshippers gone, and the makeshift plaque designating the house as an official portal to hell removed. Mostly, he wanted quiet. He simply didn't know how to achieve it. McKinley ran through the events of the day. He pulled Bradley aside and finally learned how Mr. Scratch came into existence. That gave him an idea. He just needed help. In the mid-afternoon, as Mr. Scratch was setting up the Scrabble game board, McKinley pulled his sons aside. He looked at them slowly, first Bradley, then Gerald. I know you like Mr. Scratch, he said. They nodded happily. But he's got to go. Why? Gerald said. Bradley, do you think Jennifer will ever be allowed back in this house if Mr. Scratch is here? McKinley asked. Bradley grimaced. No, he admitted, but I doubt her mother will ever let her around here again anyway. And Gerald, McKinley turned his attention to his younger son. Do you think Mom will come home if the party continues outside? Gerald didn't argue. You do want to see Mom again, don't you? Gerald thought for a moment and then managed a sad nod. That's what it comes down to. McKinley continued in a low voice, checking over his shoulder in case Mr. Scratch was listening. Mom and Jennifer or Mr. Scratch? Can't we just ask him? Gerald wanted to know. He was pleading. That way he can come back. I did ask him, McKinley reported. He said he wants to stay, he likes it here. Oh, Gerald looked glum. He really is nice. So is pizza, McKinley noted quickly, but too much will make you sick. Anyone want some lunch? Mr. Scratch called. How about some grilled chicken sandwiches? Can we ask him to leave after we eat? Bradley asked.